Hello and welcome to Dani's TV Guide. Today's topic, what's new on Netflix, where I tell you what I watched that was recently added to Netflix. My credentials include watching hundreds of thousands of hours of television, watching all sorts of television, not really believing in high and low brow television, and just generally here for a good time. Let's start with Vladimir. It's about two professors who are a couple, both teach in the English department. The husband is under Title IX investigation, slay. The wife is developing feelings for a younger colleague named Vladimir. It's hot. It's sexy. It's morally challenging.
You're very sexy, Vladimir. God, I know.
Let me read this. The husband under Title IX. Interesting exploration. I think they do a good job of being like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but then letting the victims speak for themselves. I think that's true. I think like half of the show is them being like, it was consensual, it was fine. And then you get to the end and you actually hear the victims and they're like, no, bro, I just wanted advice on my essay. And next thing I know, he's buying me shots. So it's like that energy. I think it's a story about the extremes of desire, how it can sort of take over your life. It's very English major coded, other than the fact that it's about English professors. It's just very like you can tell that it was book first in that way. It's extra fun if you went to a small college because it's very much that energy where they're like the it couple and now everybody's gossiping about them and there's all this drama about them. That happened at my college. Like that's very, very, very real. If you're nosy and into professors' business, you'll love this one. I love that we have an older woman who's seen as an object of attraction. However, she is a conventionally attractive, like, white woman who's very thin. So it's like, I mean, who wouldn't find you attractive? Like, you clearly have gotten the Botox, babe. You look great. You look great. So it's like, yay! But also, it's like having freaking Brooke Shields and being like, is that really like a stretch to find Brooke Shields attractive? No. I thought it was fun. I thought it was whimsical. I think it's a good time. It had me hooting and hollering.
I will absolutely never even conceptualize you ever again.
That is perfectly fine.
It is.
It's very white people, like that's some white people, like straight up. And I'm saying that from like the perspective of a white woman, and my mom's Puerto Rican. So I have a little bit of like,
Mi gente latino.
like it's a white story about white people. But if you have the time, I think it's worth the watch. It's fun. It's a good time. It'll have you screaming like, girl, what are you doing? Which is always a good time in my opinion. How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. This is probably my top Dani pick, a concept I'm coming up with right now. What is it about? It's about a group of girls,
Let's go, girls.
from Ireland, Belfast, whose best friend dies. Their childhood best friend dies. And when they go to pay their respects, they find something is amiss. Something has gone awry. And a mystery, sort of develops and they get into shenanigans. It's very buddy cop, very other guys, very funny.
The bar. No chance. It's €35 for a margarita.
It's a 5-star resort, Dara.
That's mental. You could buy 2 bottles of tequila and make 30 yourself.
Who would do that, though?
I would.
It also kind of gives Silas Marner and the fact that they are sharing stories. There's this idea of like the narratives we tell ourselves and the narratives we tell other people. And where is the truth in that? Is it somewhere in the middle? Is it buried? It's kind of the looking glass syndrome where, the idea of that your concept of self is not how you see yourself, it's how you imagine other people see you. So not even how they see you, how you imagine they see you. I think there's a lot of that at play. I don't know if I mentioned that the writer of this also wrote The Dairy Girls, so the dialogue is a lot like that. It's very quick, it's very witty.
Let me get one thing clear, okay? Myself and Dara here are going to be walking down the aisle behind you wearing matching frocks with or without your consent.
I think every character is very like fully fleshed out. I think they stand on their own 2 feet. I think they're very unique. I think that they hold their own in this story, which is like very nice. For me personally, at the end, the plot kind of falls apart and I'm kind of left with like more questions, and not like thought-provoking, wow, existential questions, but more questions like, what about the police? And I don't want to give too much away.
Robin, come off it. Jim's not gay. He's too dull.
He is dull, isn't he?
Overall, my top Dani pick, would recommend How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. And this one's not so much a new release. It's been out for a while, but I want to talk about it. And I rule over this ton, so we're going to talk about it. Bridgerton season 4. Reminded me of Once Upon a Time. If you know, you know. The costumes were very Once Upon a Time. The lighting was very Once Upon a Time. The flashbacks were giving young Snow White and the evil queen and all of that lore and all of that backstory.
Regina.
I'm Snow White.
And who is this darling girl?
This is Sophie Peck, my ward.
Obviously, it is like a Cinderella story, so there is that aspect of it that kind of lends to that, but it's more than that. It's the aura, it's the energy of this season, and I kind of liked that. It was like more ridiculous. If you suspend your belief, it's more fun that way. I really liked that. However, Benedict, he's always been like one of my favorite siblings, but this season, like, I did not find it cute. I did not find it attractive, which is kind of a shame because like this is supposed to be like his love story. He's supposed to be the main suitor, and I was just like, shut up. Like, you're so annoying. Like, are you kidding me? I don't know. That was really annoying. I felt this time, though, they balanced the various plots better than they did the last season. I feel like season 3, it was like every time people were on screen, I was like, why? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And I feel like they balanced the stories better this time around. However, I feel like they wouldn't have this issue if they just had longer seasons.
If we brought back 40-minute, 20-episode seasons, you wouldn't have this issue. As an avid watcher of Once Upon a Time, which had the most ridiculous intercrossing plots of like, what's another one that's like this? Rain, right? That Rain was a crazy plot, okay? If you had 40-minute episodes, you had 20-episode seasons, we can see Kate and Anthony in India and how they're adapted to that and them having a baby. They popped up and had a baby and it was like,
What? Also, whose goddamn white baby is that? With all due respect, what is the point of having all of these like mixed marriages when you're gonna pop out a brunette, blue-eyed baby? That is not Kate's baby. Like, not even like a little, like a cappuccino moment. No, that is a white, frothy ass baby. That was so, I literally like came on screen and I was like, what is going on? It was so weird. That is not Kate's baby. And also, like, that's the Bridgerton heir. And I feel like they really could have done something with that and being like, yeah, the Bridgerton heir is now like an Indian man. But no, that's just a white baby. That is a white English ass baby. England's Rose. Where is King George? I know he's ill and he's not well. I want an update on King George. I would like a little box. You know, he's in a little corner. We can just check if he's under the bed. Is he okay? I'm worried about him. I miss him. Hyacinth, like her little recital, the little shuffle she's got, loved it. I was screaming the whole entire time. I thought it was perfect middle school, the little squeaks of the shoe. So love. Sophie, the pregnancy stuff, don't piss me off. Don't do all of that just to be like, I got my period. Don't do that. Don't pissed me all the way out. That was so annoying. I hate plots like that. That was so annoying. So annoying. Overall, I enjoyed it. I know we're not going to get longer seasons, and that's really disappointing to me, but I liked it. I don't know. More to come. I'm excited for Eloise. Just a taste of Dani's TV guide. What will we be watching next? Who's to say? I know you can't wait to see. See you soon. Threat. All I wanted was you.